What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Alolan DataDex with me, TheOneIntegral. Last episode we covered Lantern, and for this episode I gave you a choice between a Mega Slowbro or a legendary Pokemon, an Ultra Beast from Generation 7, and you guys chose the Ultra Beast. It was very close. I had to put this tiny bit on Twitter, so there is that. And we're covering Nihilego, and apparently that's how you say the name. I didn't know this before today, so yeah, I also used to say Nihilego because that's how I read it. So, but apparently it's Nihilego, so I will try and say that today. But for next episode we are going to be touching the ground a bit, and we're going to have a vote between Alolan Dugtrio and Gigalith. So do you want to see the ground steel type, or would you like to see the pure rock type? Let me know down below in the comment section by either commenting Dugtrio or Gigalith. The one with most votes will be covered next episode. But for now, let's jump and have a look at Nihilego. Nihilego is number 793 in the National Pokédex, a rock poison type and the parasite Pokemon. It's only 3 foot 11 inches or 1.2 meters tall, but still pretty big for a parasite, and weighs 122.4 pounds or 55.5 kilograms. Being an Ultra Beast, it's in the undiscovered egg group, is genderless, and does not evolve from or into any other Pokemon. Looking at Nihilego's base stats, you can see its highest base stat is actually Special Defense at 131, then its Special Attack at 127, Health Points at 109, and then Speed at 103. So obviously, it's a special attack. You can see its attack and defense, are very low there at 53 and 47 respectively. So really, you want to be avoiding any physical attackers, and obviously we're going to be focused around doing special attacks ourselves. In terms of abilities, Beast Boost of course is the one that Nihilego gets, and that boosts its most proficient stat every time it knocks a Pokemon out. So that's usually going to be special attack or possibly special defense, depending on how you build your set. Looking at the typing, which is Rock Poison, which is quite an interesting typing, there are actually 6 resistances, with Normal, Fire, Flying, Poison, Bug and Fairy, Poison having a 4 times resistance, 4 weaknesses with Water, Ground, Psychic and Steel, and conversely a 4 times weakness to Ground rather than the resistance to Poison, and then takes neutral from the other 8 types. So I'd say overall it's a pretty decent typing. The only thing that could make it a bit better is possibly an immunity or 2, but can't really complain too much. I'd say it's a decent typing. It can work offensively or defensively, whichever way around you want to focus on. Looking at the moves you might want to be using for Nihilego, a couple of level up moves and then some TMs. So first, at level 29, it learns Toxic Spikes. Of course, this will probably be our heart scale because it's a higher level than that when you catch it. So Toxic Spikes obviously lays down Toxic on the enemy field, and it's just generally a pretty good move, gets access to it. It's defensive as well as being offensive, so it can run a utility move to the side and be able to actually hold this for the team, so it's pretty standard there. Then level 37, our first attacking move with Power Gem, 80 base power, pretty standard there, special move obviously, and yeah, get stab on it, so why not use it basically, why not use it indeed. Then at level 47, we have a poison type move that's Acid Spray. This is only 40 base power, but of course Acid Spray has a secondary effect to the move, which is that it sharply reduces your opponent's special defense, which is pretty damn good because it's a special attack, so you do it once, they basically have half special defense, so you do it again, even lower, and you just keep stacking it up like that. And of course you can run Acid Spray alongside another more powerful move, and then just use Acid Spray the one time, and then jump in with a more powerful move to take advantage of that. Then, next up, the last level move is Stealth Rock at level 59. So just like Toxic Spikes, it's a utility-based move, rather than poisoning any opponent, people that come in, any opponents that come in, you of course just do damage to them over time, so Stealth Rock's pretty standard still. You could run, if you're going for a defensive set, you can just run Toxic Spikes, Stealth Rock, and then your other defensive moves to get both set up. Or if you're just going to go for a mixed set, some attacking moves with a utility move, the choice between Toxic Spikes or Stealth Rock is up to you of course. It depends, maybe you've got some Stealth Rocks on another member of your team, so you might as well use that there. And of course it depends what you want to play around with Poison as well, because if you tend to have other Pokemon on your team with Venoshock, then of course they can take advantage of that and really power from there. If we then move on to TMs though, TMs had hidden power. One downside, I suppose, of Nihilego is the fact that it doesn't get a huge range of coverage moves. It's got Rock and Poison, but it's not much apart from that, so Hidden Power can help to shore that up. 60 base power, of course, in terms of typing you might want to be using. Looking at our weaknesses, our biggest one is Ground there. We actually have a Grass type coming up later on, so you could run Grass, but maybe not. In terms of the other one, Water, Psychic, Steel, yeah, really, it's no glaring weakness you want to cover, but it's just whatever spots in your coverage and possibly your team's coverage need filling up. Then TM24 we have Thunderbolt. It says is a coverage move, it does get 90 base power, pretty decent power move there. Not much more to say about it really, covers that water type weakness you do have. TM34 is next with Sludge Wave, 95 base power move, so pretty standard, and then next up we have Sludge Bomb right after, slightly less power of course at 90, but the trade-off is obviously Sludge Bomb has a high chance to poison the opponent, so again it's whether you want to play around that poison or not. Then our final TM is TM86 Grass Knot. I did promise you guys a grass type move, and of course this is the one. However, it's not very consistent because it could do 20 base power if they're a really light Pokemon, or 120 base power if they're a really heavy one. So it's completely up to how much the opponent weighs, which isn't a consistent or a reliable method. So you can run it for coverage, but it's not going to be a reliable move in all instances. So that's why Hidden Power might be a better option for a bit more coverage there. If we then do move on to the sets, we're going to look at two sets. The first one is sort of utility based, the second one is more offensive based. So the moveset for the first one is going to be Stealth Rock, Toxic Spikes, Sludge Bomb or Acid Spray, and then Power Gem. Ability is Beast Boost, of course. Nature is a timid one, and the held item is a Focus Sash or a Black Sludge. EVs we have maximum speed, 176 special attack, and then 80 in health points. So the idea here is to be fast, to set your Stealth Rock and your Stealth Rock and your Toxic Spikes up using that Focus Sash. So hopefully you're faster than the opponent thanks to this timid nature and the maximum speed EVs. So you go in, you Stealth Rock. The opponent maybe hits you with their most powerful attack, Draco Meteor for example. Hits you down, Focus Sash, if you're running it of course, takes you down to 1 health point, and you can set Toxic Spikes up the next turn, or you can switch out if you want to. That's the idea there. If it's really sort of a suicide lead, you don't have to run it as a suicide lead, but if it works out, that's how it will end up. Of course, Black Sludge is an alternative item choice here, which is if you want to play a bit more defensive. So in that case, you might want to put some EVs in special defense rather than all speed, but the speed really here is the main draw, so you can get the Stealth Rock and the Toxic Spikes up as soon as possible, and just do that. So the Focus Sash Black Sludge choice is a case of what opponents am I going to be facing? Am I just going to run us as a lead and just set him up and don't care, or am I going to hold it back in my party and then switch it in on a fire type for example that's not going to do much to me, hence Black Sludge will be more useful because you won't have to worry about them completely taking you out in one hit. So, apart from Stealth Rock and Toxic Spikes, the next moves we have are Sludge Bomb or Acid Spray. The choice here, Sludge Bomb is pure power of course, Acid Spray is if you want to play the long con basically, and get those special defense drops and then maybe hit them with a Power Gem to do that extra damage, or maybe have another Pokemon on your team take advantage of that. So if you Stealth Rock, hit them with an Acid Spray and then switch out to, I don't know, a Charizard, if they are threatened by that Charizard, they will going to have to switch out because of those special defense drops. So you could use it in that sense, but Sludge Bomb generally is just pure power, is what you go for. In terms of using this set, I've talked about it already. You can run Suicide Lead, where you go in and just set Stealth Rock and Spikes up, or you use Black Sludge and you bit more defensive with it. Go in, maybe set one up and force a switch, or set both up and just then switch out on low health, and then come back in later on if you can set up. But apart from that, there's not a huge thing, huge sort of methodology to use in this set. It's a basic utility set. You set your rocks and your spikes up, and that's it. So if we then move on to the second set, as I mentioned, it's basically an offensive one. So we have, in terms of moves, Thunderbolt or Hidden Power in the first slot, Grass Knot, Power Gem, and Sludge Wave in the next 3. Beast Boost is the ability, Nature is Timid, and the held item in this time is a Choice Specs or a Life Orb. Maximum Special Attack EVs, Maximum Speed EVs, and the last few in Special Defense. So obviously this one is pure offense, just going for pure special attacking power here, hence the Timid Nature. We need the Timid Nature for the speed really, and that allows us to run a Choice Specs or a Life Orb to give us the power. If we really wanted to run the modest one, we'd probably have to run a Choice Scarf instead, but Timid Nature generally is what we're going to go for here. In terms of the moves, Thunderbolt or Hidden Power is a choice here. You could, run Thunderbolt, Grass Knot, Power Gem, Sludge Wave. You could run Thunderbolt, Hidden Power, Power Gem, Sludge Wave. Really, the Thunderbolt, the Hidden Power, and the Grass Knot are interchangeable. Thunderbolt and Grass Knot both cover that water type weakness. Grass Knot, however, does cover the ground type weakness. Hence, why we've sort of boosted it up, and it's on another level from the Thunderbolt one, and that's why we can possibly leave Thunderbolt out because Grass Knot can cover 2 weaknesses, whereas Thunderbolt can only cover 1. In terms of the other 2 moves, of course, Fat Power Gem and Sludge Wave are your 2 stabs, so of course you can run that. We're running Sludge Wave here rather than Sludge Bomb because we want the power in this instance, because Choice Specs, really power. We don't care about poisoning, because if we get them down to 5 health points with Sludge Bomb and they don't get poisoned, well that's it, you have them in power. Or if you knock them down to half health points with Sludge Bomb, then of course poison might help, but really you're just going to take them out next turn anyway. So that's why we're running Sludge Wave in this case. Choice Specs or Life Orb options. Specs if you want to go and just slam out the moves, or Life Orb if you want to go in and just do damage over time basically, and play the long con, be a bit more flexible in what you have to use. In terms of ease, again, pure power and pure speed, last feed and special defense just to get a bit of bulk in there. But in terms of using the set, it's a standard specs or a standard choice set or a Life Orb set. You go in, you either do the damage and you switch out if it gets if it gets a bit hairy, and you can go back in later on to do some more damage really. There's not a huge amount of strategy for this set, it's more making sure you don't die. In terms of beast boost as well, we haven't talked about too much, but of course if you manage to get a kill with this set, probably timid nature is what's going to allow you to get that speed boost, because choice specs, yes, okay, it boosts your special attack, but it doesn't actually boost your special attack, it boosts the move's power. So timid, speed will be your highest stat here probably, allowing you to keep speeding up and keep getting the edge on the opponents. But of course you could mess around with the EV investment a bit here to allow the special attack to get boosted instead, and go on from there. I didn't mention it with the first set, but of course if you did get a beast boost with the first set, speed would definitely be the thing that gets boosted up, which is probably what you want in the case there, so that's just a quick mention there. But that's going to be it for Nihilego's set. I'm not sure how many times I said it wrong in this episode, but who knows. Of course, don't forget if over next episode's Pokemon either Dug Trio or Gearlift, so let me know down below in the comment section. But this is going to be it for today, so I shall see you next time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye my friends.